Loaded bases, Dalton Combs. How's it going?
How we doing, Mason?
Just
It's
trying to
good.
not go
Thanks for
ahead.
having me on here.
Hey, no problem. So yeah, it's super smoky up here. Trying to not die from that and
Just
COVID.
stay inside, you'll be fine.
That's the goal.
You never know. You never know these days. You just got to roll up the punches and go from there. I mean, this year has been crazy, and I don't even
It's
know
been
what to
wild.
even think. I don't even know what to think anymore. But hey, we know how to do it as ball players. Just kind of, they call us and we go. So that's all.
Exactly.
That's all we do.
So yeah, so where are you right now? Like, so what are you doing?
So I'm actually in Arizona. Currently, I'm doing training slash coaching, doing some lessons and stuff at a local facility out here. I'm out here in the Phoenix area. So,
Hmm.
but yeah, I'm out here and just kind of chilling and kind of waiting things out and seeing what's next for me, kind of thing. So,
Oh yeah. So you were just released by the Giants.
yeah, correct. Yeah, it was in May, end of May. So I was with all the 1,200 cuts or whatever
Yeah.
in the end of that month.
So yeah, it's I'd say with the whole 2020 season just being totally upside down backwards, it's there's a lot of questions in the minor leagues especially.
Yeah, I know. And it's like there's gonna be, I mean, I wouldn't doubt it if there's, more decisions they make in the next couple months, but it's gonna look a lot different as we know as of it today. It's gonna be looking a lot different come next year spring training, but we just kind of sit back and everybody's obviously gunning for a job, and we just gotta stay on top of it and see what happens. But it's gonna look different, that's for sure.
And so
Not gonna
yeah,
look the same.
oh no, I mean I have so many ideas of how baseball next year, like it's never going to be the same after after this year.
Right. It's gonna be there's gonna be less players and more people, more guys out of college or high school or whatever trying to gun for jobs and try to live their dream. Like I was able to for a little bit and hopefully get another shot. But it's just it's just a crazy experience so far, and we just gotta take it one day at a time, kind of thing.
Yeah. So what was your so what was the call like saying that you got drafted in 2017? I, I want to hear that. I want to hear your story.
Uh, yeah, it was pretty awesome. Obviously, everybody's got a different story, but mine, I am actually from Indiana, so
Hmm.
I went to a small school in Indiana, a little NAI school, like 1,400 students. So every person I knew pretty much on the campus. But it
Yeah.
was a good, it was awesome for me just because I was around a lot of awesome guys, and that's what kept me there. Good coaching staff, and I was able to improve as a player because obviously out of high school I wasn't ready to go to a big school, and I
Hmm.
don't think it would have been an option for me. So I think I was at a good fit for sure, and I was a senior sign, and I remember that that week of the draft, I knew I was probably going to go, third day because being a senior sign,
Yeah.
you gotta it's tough to get drafted high. So but yeah, I I remember that third day, the Giants were kind of the only team that kind of looked at me, and I gave a great respect to the scout that kind of came out and gave me a shot, and he vouched for me, and I was very thankful for that. And I remember that third day, they usually don't, they don't really call your name or do any videos,
Yeah.
so it's just kind of they just put your name on the board. And I know I was nervous all day because I was like, well, if I'm gonna get a shot, it's gonna be a day. And I was like, well, if I don't get drafted, I'm just gonna go any ball, just go play a little bit
Yeah.
and see where it takes me. And I remember that round came, 35th round, and I was like, I was rolling through, and then the Giants came up, and my name come up, and I was like, and before I even saw it, obviously my dad, he was obviously it was me and him only at the house at the time. My other family members were working, and before I even saw my name, I could hear my dad, screaming in the other row. He's just, like, all pumped up. "Let's go, ready to go." He comes in and, gives me a big hug. So that was a cool experience because that brought me back to just even going to Cooperstown as a young age and just like, because he's my coach and
Mhm.
all the, all the work kind of paid off kind of thing. And
Yeah.
I was able to get my shot and, it was a good experience. And I was grateful for it. I got 2 years with Giants. So um, nothing but respect for them. And all I can do now is keep working and maybe, another shot in my journey will come up and we'll see where it goes from there. But I'm always ready and I'm ready to step up and take the next challenge in my journey. So, but yeah, that's kind of my story. It's a little different than, everybody else's,
Oh
but
yeah. Everyone has a different one, and it's
yeah.
it's always awesome to hear everyone's little thing.
Yeah, and obviously I'm proud. I don't really like to say that a lot, but I'm proud of my story, and it's been a great experience, and it's opened up a lot of doors for me. So I'm more than I'm blessed for the opportunity, and I'm just gonna keep riding it out until I can't really do it anymore, kind of thing.
Yeah. Say, did you mention that you went to Cooperstown playing like when you were younger?
Yeah, I went
So
to Cooper. Yeah,
okay, so did you play for or like at the Dream Park?
yeah, Cooperstown Dreams Park. Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did too back in 2007.
I it was around that time. I went in July of
Yes.
2007, I think.
Yes. So did
Yes.
I. So did I. Hold on. This is gonna be crazy.
That's yeah, you got to check that out
I am
because
right now.
I can't remember what week it was, but obviously they bring in a ton of teams every week. That would be crazy if we were the same
What team did
because
you play on?
it was called Indiana Aqua Blast.
Ooh, maybe. Actually, uh, if I
What was the
had,
team?
we're Brooklyn baseball.
Dude, that sounds familiar.
Yeah, dude, I'm gonna find this out. There, so yeah,
There's a ton of like I can remember all those teams
it was all.
like
I think it's like all the
Hawaii
pins.
Sluggers and like yeah, all the pins. That's how I remember them because I remember looking at them like this was sick. Like I trading pins and I remember I was all
Yeah,
jacked up like just to get different teams and play against different people around the world. I thought that was legit.
so yeah, that was it was. I think like that whole experience right there was just. I mean, I think that's probably one of my top moments in my life is just going to that tournament back in the day. I think you lagged out.
Literally, yes. Literally, I think to myself, I'm like, I think I kind of that's where it kind of all started for me. Kind of like, oh, I want to keep doing this because I
Yeah,
like playing against other people and competing and people I don't know, and that's kind of the first time I thought to myself, wow, there's a lot of players out there that are trying to do the same thing. So I think that was kind of like the eye opener for me. A bunch of teams at the same tournament, and it was just an awesome experience. So that kind of strayed me towards that sport and that's when I
yeah.
started really working hard and trying to improve my game or whatnot.
Oh, it's. I mean, say because like when we were there, there was a team that we played from San Jose, and I mean we were. I mean we weren't like the biggest team, but these dudes were big, and it's like there's no way that they're 12 years old.
Yeah. It's like what's that movie with the guy that pitches for the little league team and he gives him the paper and says I am 12. That's how
Bench
I felt like
warmers,
at Cooper. Yeah,
bench warmers, Carlos.
that's how I felt when I went to Cooperstown with some of those guys. Like they were just giving them the
Okay,
birth.
I found this. Okay, week 8. Fine. So you played on who again?
Indiana Aqua Blast.
Indiana Aqua Blast. I wish they had this in order.
I don't think we ever played Brooklyn baseball, but I feel like I remember the name.
Uh, You were there the same week I was. That is unreal. That is
It's on there.
crazy. Dude.
The paths always cross. It's in
Hey,
the stars, dog.
see that I think that is the baseball, dude. Like okay, so like I'm learning with this whole thing. In baseball, everyone knows everyone somehow. Everyone, it's the craziest thing.
Yes. Right. Even if you don't know them face to face, you know them,
Yeah, that's
and
wild.
that's how it works.
That is
Yeah,
wild.
I feel like that's how all sports work, especially
Yeah.
when you start growing older and you just start like, oh yeah, you start realizing, oh yeah, I was at that tournament at that time, kind of thing, and or I was at that camp.
Yes. What
That's
what
funny.
what was it like going to your first spring training?
Um, I, I remember. I think I was. It was an eye opener for sure for me because I didn't realize how many players there are trying to compete for jobs.
Hmm.
I remember the first day getting there, um, and obviously I'd been to Arizona before, so that didn't really bother me. Obviously I was acclimated to the atmosphere and whatnot, but I remember that first day of practice at spring training and seeing all those guys. I'm like, holy cow, what are we doing? Why do we got so many guys?
Yep.
And you know, it was I feel like there was like 260 players, which with what's going on now, you won't see that anymore.
Oh yeah, no, no way.
But yeah, and I was like, it was kind of overwhelming at first. I was like, wow, this is wild to see all these guys trying to do the same thing, which is make it to the big leagues. And but I think I I definitely was prepared. I was ready, but just seeing everybody there at the same time was an eye opener for me.
Was it kind
And that
of
I think
like intimidating or no?
um, I I guess I don't know, with a professional season on my belt, I that I didn't. I guess I didn't. Wouldn't say for myself. I didn't do as good as I wanted to. So I feel like I was motivated to kind of not even think of like,
Hmm.
just like throw it off my mind and just think about my career and
Yeah.
what I needed to do for that spring training in order to move forward. So I think it was more on my mind because there was a lot of guys that I had gotten drafted with that I was comfortable with.
Hmm.
So it wasn't as overwhelming, but I remember seeing a couple of the big league guys.
Yeah, how was
That
that?
was more overwhelming.
It's like who was the
It was like
biggest name that
I
you like walked
remember
up to?
that was well, that was the year that I think I don't know if it was during extended because I went to extended that year, and there was Madison Bumgarner got in a like a motorcycle accident, and
Oh
he was
yeah, the
there
dirt
rehabbing.
bike. Yeah.
Yeah, so that was like that was like one of the first guys I saw that was a big leaguer, and I was like, "Holy- he's bigger than It's like it's always like you see him on TV, or like
Yeah.
you then you see him in person, you're like, oh, he's bigger than what he's on TV.
Yep.
Like he's a hoss. So
Yeah.
that was overwhelming to see that. I'm like, dang, I got a lot of work to do. You know what I mean? Like he's got that dad strength, and I got a few years. I got a few years to get that, but yeah, that was good. I think that was more overwhelming than just the actual spring training because you see those guys and you don't even know what like you kind of froze. You kind of freeze up. You don't want like you want to be cool. You want to play it cool, but you're like, what do I even say to them? You know what I mean? You don't want to
Yeah.
make yourself sound like a freaking idiot. So, but yeah, I just stuck with the don't say anything, just kind of nod my head and walk by. That's what I stick with. I'm
Well,
not
yeah,
trying to
because the
make
year
myself look like a fool.
I'd say because like like just a few years before, like we would watch Mad Bum pitch Game 7 of the World Series and lights out, like,
Hmm.
and then now he's on your team.
Exactly. No, yeah,
That's wild.
that was pretty sick. And then yeah, and then just kind of being able to see those guys and even get a hi out of them or how you doing kind of thing. That was
Yeah.
always a that was always a big day for me. Oh yeah, they kind of noticed me. Like, yeah, I'm a big dog now, but
I
really
got
I
a
wasn't a big
I got a
dog.
high five from him.
Yeah,
You're
exactly. Yeah,
good.
yeah. It's funny how we like think of these guys as like any bigger than us, but it comes down to, we're all trying to do the same thing, and we're all just trying to, enjoy our experience and have an
Yeah.
opportunity to keep doing what we're doing. You know what I mean? So it's always funny how we put those guys at a pedestal, but it's like, obviously they want the respect, but at the end of the day, we're all the same. We're
Yep.
all the same guys. We're all talented. We're all trying to do the same thing. So I think once I got, the more obviously the older I get, the more I have that kind of mentality. But
Yeah.
it was definitely a cool experience to see those guys and for the first time in person, because you see them on TV every day.
Yeah, I would say my first MLB game that I went to was actually in 2007, and the Texas Rangers came up and played the Mariners, and Sammy Sosa was playing for the Rangers then. And then I like walked down and I was just like, this dude's
Mm.
big. Like these guys are massive. Then there's like Mark Teixeira was there and big guys. They're a whole
Right.
different level.
No, that's I yeah, and I think I remember myself. It's like I remember going to my first big league game. It was the Reds, because I was always growing up with my dad. He was Reds fan, so obviously I was a Reds fan too. So I remember the first game I went to was I can't remember once I was Ken Griffey Jr. was with them, and that was
Ooh.
pretty cool. Because obviously that was always the guy I looked up to, being a
Yep.
lefty, and just kind of always watching his swing. So I always that was pretty cool. And we were sitting in nosebleeds, obviously. We last minute we're like, oh, let's go to the game. So we bought last minute tickets, and that was definitely a cool experience, just to kind of get the vibe of
Yep.
being a young kid and seeing these guys at this level. And that was awesome. And just seeing Ken Griffey Jr. play, and some of these other guys that were on the team. So yeah, that was pretty awesome. I remember that experience. That was the first time I saw that. And you can tell too, like, even being in the nosebleeds, these guys are pretty. These guys got some solid muscle. I'm like, they're no just scrub on the street.
Oh no. See, I think the first so the first player that I saw in person that I that I didn't think was as big as they actually are is Nelson Cruz. Like seeing him like on the
He's a
field up at the
hoss.
Mariners games, man, dude, his bat is a log. But I mean, like, but he
Yeah,
swings it like a stick.
yeah. I don't understand that either. It's like, yeah, I'm not gonna swing at 36. I'm gonna stay with my 34-inch. That's about as high as I'll ever get. So,
Yeah,
yeah, those guys are on a little bit different strength level. Their talents just, with older and
yeah.
everything, you get a little bit more strength.
See, so did you always want to be a professional baseball player, or
Yeah, I
did you
think
have a
so.
plan B?
Even from the at a young age, I remember, you always have those, even in elementary school, you have those paper works that your teachers give you. This, one of the questions is, what do you want to be when you
Yeah,
grow up? And I always put professional baseball player. I always see that stuff on Twitter too. Like these guys will post like those pictures of they had their paperwork back in
yeah.
elementary, but I don't have any of that stuff. I feel like it's all been thrown away. But yeah, I remember putting that down every time I was been asked. And I obviously, the older I get, and when I went to college, I started developing kind of, plan B, because I got to my senior year. I was like, well, I'm either going to go one way or the other, and
Mm.
maybe drafted, maybe not. I'll have a career. And I think that's when I started being more realistic about everything. But also, I wanted to chase my dream, and I
Oh
knew
yeah.
I was gonna. if I didn't play professional affiliated ball, I was going to go play independent league
Mhm.
somewhere for a couple years and see what that had to offer. But I think, yeah, at a young age, I always want to do that. Like, I always obviously thought it would be cool to go to Mars or like
Hell yeah.
some crazy stuff like that, be an astronaut or, that was always obviously were thoughts in my mind of, oh yeah, I want to like save the world and all that stuff. As a kid, you have all this crazy imagination, but yeah, that was one of the things that I wanted to do is just play professional baseball and stick to it. And I guess it's cool now to like even think about like that was always my dream and I
Yep.
made it come true. And um, now I don't want to. Now I'm to the point where I don't want to stop. So I want to keep. I
Yeah,
want to
dude.
keep driving for it. But
Keep grinding on that one. You have lots of
yeah,
potential,
so
man.
it's on hold right now. But I want to. I want to see if I can see what's next for that opportunity. So
So yeah, have you thought about going to go play overseas?
yeah, I'm actually I've been talking to my agent about it right now, and we're trying to figure out something. But I really would love to go to play in Australia.
Yeah.
We've been in contact with them right now, so but just with all the travel restrictions and everything,
Yeah, it's pretty hard to.
everything's kind of up in the air. I know they're signing a couple big leaguers and whatnot right now, but still everything's up in the air. And they have a point system for all those winter leagues, and you can only have so many international players, and
Yeah.
so that's in the process. But I would love to do that because I think it would only help me in my career to improve and get out of my comfort zone and try new things as a player. So I think that is definitely one thing that I would want to do and I'm trying to do. So I think that would only help me for the hopefully next coming of spring training, that somebody would want to pick me up and sign me and go through that process.
So yeah, it's we have no idea like what's gonna come next year, and that is
Yeah.
the and like I guess like me as a fan now, it's I mean I guess I can say I'm a different kind of fan because I'm open to things changing, but
Hmm.
then again, to a certain extent. And then no, because there's like the older generation fans who are not having
Yeah.
any of these changes and they're just freaking out. But I mean, it's different now.
Hmm.
And that's what,
No, yeah, and I think that's what always. I mean, I feel like in any type of way of living, I feel like we're all, we never want things to change. We're human. We want
yeah,
things to
we like
stay
routines.
stay the same. We want, we want to be comfortable. So it is tough, but at the end, life's gonna go where it needs, and we got to follow, and we got to be ready for it. So, but it's not easy to give it up. It's not easy to, um, have someone tell you that we're gonna go a different way or we're gonna cut all these opportunities. Unfortunately, or might not have a team for next year, but um, that's what it's coming down to, and we just gotta hopefully, we can take routes to figure that out in different communities and make communities better by maybe making some developmental teams or there's a lot of options in
Hmm.
the air. So they just gotta, like I said, just kind of roll with it and always be open for new ideas and everything will be fine. Everything will take care of itself. We just gotta be ready for that, be ready for those changes. But it's not easy. It's not easy at all. And I feel like that's what I've kind of learned through this whole situation this year is just you gotta take it one day at a time, and you just gotta be ready for anything and take care of yourself, and that's all you can do.
Oh, yeah, for sure. For sure. So you were mentioning earlier, you have talked to more than or yeah, m- more than baseball.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah, so I'm actually an ambassador for them. I think I started doing it in February. That's when they started doing they started offering the ambassador program,
Mm-hmm.
and I remember I found them online, and I was just kind of scrolling around, and because I didn't have an agent at that time,
Mm-hmm.
they also helped me find an agent. So
Oh wow.
thanks, they've done a lot for me. So I've been blessed to be able to be a part of their program too, and just kind of give them feedback when I was with the Giants organization during spring training, the limited time we were together. But yeah, I've been with them since February, and they're we're always keeping up with with Jeremy and some of the that founded the organization and getting
Mm-hmm.
these things going. But yeah, they're an awesome group, and I know they're doing a lot of good things. And I was just talking to Jeremy the other day. I was like, man, it's cool to see you guys grow from February till now. You guys have done a lot of awesome things, and I know they're just going to keep building on that because they got a lot of good. They got a lot of awesome people
Oh yeah.
that work. Also, I think it's a, it's a good organization right now just because the way baseball's going. So they're big on minor league baseball. That's what we need. It's awesome to have people on your side. So, but yeah, I enjoy being with them, and it's been a good experience so far. So,
So yeah, because I guess like for me starting this whole like podcast like journey, I get for like what actually happens in the minor leagues. I'm learning more and more about I guess all aspects and all sides of it, and it's insane.
mm,
Like I feel bad for you guys.
yeah,
It's
I always
absolute
try to.
grind.
I always try to different word grind, but it's hard to not even think about like the word
Yep.
and like I don't even know how else to explain it other than it's a hardcore job, and it's like if you want to chase your dream, then you gotta do a lot of things that day-to-day office job doesn't offer. And
Yeah.
it's
Oh, definitely.
whether it's the 8-hour bus trips after you got done with the 5-game series all the way through the night, and then you got to get up and play you got to play again the next day, or
Yep.
um, the spread that we get before the games, or kind of accommodations we get at the ball field sometimes. And it's you gotta really love it. That's what everybody says. You gotta love it if you want to keep going. And there's guys that they go a year and they're like, this ain't for me, and they dip out. But if you really enjoy the game and you just love the process and enjoy um, the experience and having the opportunity, then you can get through it. But there's a lot of there's a lot of unwritten things
Yep.
that you have to go through that they don't really teach you. You just got to learn on your own, kind of thing.
Yep. Yeah. I would. Oh, that'd be fun. See, like
Oh yeah.
my, I guess for like when I played like college and high school, all that. I think in summer ball, like for Legion, my favorite times were probably like I would say the bus rides, just like the traveling, man. That was like
Hmm.
one like the most like rememberable about trips is just like traveling
Yeah.
and not actually
Yeah.
what happened on the field.
Right. Yeah. No, I agree. I especially then I loved the trips. So I can think of the trips in college too. And it was always good to and you can get to know you get to know people too on a different level. You don't always it's always not always just baseball. You know what I mean? So it's
Mm-hmm.
always good. And it's funny how I feel like every single team we always had like assigned a seats. Like
Yes.
it's like you always like get comfortable. It's like that routine. Like I said again, it's like you get comfortable in a spot, and especially if you're on a streak, you're like, oh, nobody's moving. If everybody moves, they're gonna be pissed. Like they're like, you got to go back to your spot.
Yep.
Like you can't curse us.
That's the
It's
life
so
of a
funny.
baseball player, though. We are very routine about everything we do,
Yeah.
superstitious, and then like I think the people who say that they aren't superstitious, they're liars. They are
Yeah,
definitely
they're
liars because you can't just go to a, a ballpark and go 3 for 10 and say that tomorrow you're doing the same thing to try and do the exact same routine. Those guys are liars.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, and if they tell you that, then you can just kick them to the curb because they just don't want to. They just want to be different. Obviously,
Exactly.
people want to. Everybody wants to be different too, but they just don't want to tell you. They're doing the same thing. They're doing the same routine when they wake up. They're sleeping in to whatever, however long, and then they're going to
Yep.
eat and then listen to music. Like there's always even if it's a small routine, there's always some sort of going.
Oh yeah. I mean, I had the exact same routine like for every game day for high school, college, summer ball, all that.
Mm,
It was the exact same thing
right.
every day. And then if I
Yeah.
messed up like on the same, it's like if I messed up like on like one thing, I would low key freak out, and then I'm like, fuck, fuck, fuck. Like I gotta like redo this whole thing again.
Exactly. No, and I guess now that I think about it, there's a lot of times that I'll be on a hot streak or whatever when I'm hitting well or playing well. I'll listen to the same music too. I'm like, oh,
Yep.
this is the song that's getting me fired up.
What
I'm gonna
what is your
listen to that
go-to
song.
song? What is your go-to song?
I don't have really good songs, but I'll tell you that my some of my walk-ups last year were I had Hypnotized by Taurus B.I.G. I had
Oh yeah.
since I was in San Jose last year, I had Could You Be Loved by Bob Marley. Get that
Yes.
Little West Coast vibe going. That was always a
Yes.
that was a good one for me. And I can't remember, there was another one that I had to start. Oh, there was a song by Future that was called it's not very well known, but it's called Absolutely Going Crazy, and it's got a little beat. I've always
Yeah.
looked for that I can that I can walk at the same pace as the beat that's playing. I
Yep.
always notice that I do that.
I
But yeah,
I do the
it's
same
like
thing.
I'll get stuck on one. Yeah, I'll get stuck on one song before a game, and I'll just put it on repeat. It's not like I don't have any go-to songs or everybody has these playlists that they listen to. I don't have that. It's just what song I'm feeling for that day or
Yep.
that week. Yeah, so that's what I noticed.
So yeah, mine. See, one of my walk-ups in high school was "Express Yourself" by NWA. That was,
There you go.
and then
Yeah.
"Electric Feel" by MGMT. That was one of them. But
I
like
like that.
my one song I would listen to before every game. So back like when I was 12, I watched a highlight reel on Ichiro, and there was a song on there. It was "Have a Nice Day" by Bon Jovi, and then before every game, I listen to that song. It's just like a quick reminder,
It's
just just have a day.
right, and it got kind of stuck in your head, so it's
Yep,
like
and
I got to
that
keep
is,
listening to it.
hey, that's, I mean, like, I will even listen to that before I play slow pitch softball games, just because it's the routine, man.
Exactly. Yes. That routine will go till you die, dog.
Dude, I'm gonna teach my kids that, and then my kids' kids. Like, you have to listen to this song. You have to do this. Trust me, it works out.
Pass it down. Pass it down. That's
I
all
had
you
a
got to do.
I had a coach for Junior Legion, and he said that if you listen to Ti, you hit more line drives.
That's funny. I know. I've never heard of that one.
Yeah,
I'm gonna have maybe that's why I've been
Cre-
missing my whole life.
creme de la creme, homie. You gotta blare that line
Yes,
drives.
love that. Well, I always do for walk-ups. Talking about walk-ups, I always try to pick family friendly walk-ups. Just I always want my song to be the song that hypes up. My one of my years I did
Yeah,
what was it? Oh, I did Return of the Mac.
Yep.
I know, because that's the go-to. Everybody likes that. Everybody's heard that song. And I did a Careless Whisper. It was like a remix, but I did Careless Whisper by George Michael. And that was a hit too. That was a hit. That was the one.
So yeah,
Even players would be like, "Hey, where'd you get that remix?" I said, "Don't worry about it. That's a secret."
yeah. So my first job, I was a bat boy for the Yakima Bears. So
Oh, okay.
so the Yakima Bears, they're now the Hillsboro Hops,
All right, right.
and so there was this
Yeah, it's an awesome field.
say yeah, say there's one player I remember, um, his name was Mike Me, and his walk up was it's all about me, and I don't know, it was like, and it's like the crowd just loved it. It was just
That's a
like, it's just like small things like that people remember.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like I always try to find a song that fits my name, but I never could find songs. I guess I could go with Luke Combs since my last
Yeah,
name is Combs, but
that is true.
I've never picked a country song to um
Well,
for a walk up, but I guess I could always, feel it out and see how I feel, and then I could always change it. But that would be the
uh,
closest. Like,
no, it's not actually. You can do so. Sean Combs, P Diddy.
oh, there you go. Yeah,
See, so you
yeah.
could do that.
Oh, that's true. That's true. Yeah, I forgot about him. I
See,
could do the one. He's got some hits. He's got some
some
classics for
old
sure.
ones.
Yeah, oldies but goodies.
Yes, oh for sure. So
Let's go.
what? So do you have any final advice? So what would you tell a player that let's see. So what would you tell a player that the dream is to be drafted and they are thinking that they don't have a chance? What would you tell them?
I think just based on my experience and what my career has brought to me, I think I would tell them control what you can control. Like you can't. I guess that would be my advice because that's what kind of I've learned in the past, 2, 3 years, even now, especially with just being released and everything on hold and not knowing what's next.
Yeah.
Um, I can't control, me being released, or I can't control me, um, whatever baseball striking out or 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 what the umpires, call if it's 2 feet off the plate and they call a strike. I can't control that. All I can control is day to day how I go about my work and
Mm,
what kind of energy I bring to the field and what kind of mentality I bring. Because I can, if I bring a good mentality to the field, that's not only going to help me improve or be, keep me on my routine. It's gonna keep good vibes around, everybody else and your teammates and your coaches, and they're gonna feed off that, and it's only gonna only gonna be good for you. It's only gonna do good for you. So I feel like, things that I think things that I can control is my mentality, how hard I work, and just go day by day and do those things, and then everything else will fall where it should be. There's everybody has different talents, and everybody has developed at different times, and I would say I was one of those guys developed a little later.
mm-hmm.
um, but yeah, I think if you can focus on, especially I guess as a young kid, you're not really like, you're like, okay, what can I control? Oh, I can control how I talk to my parents, or even small things like that will
Yeah.
go a long way. But I think as I've gotten older, that's what I've learned is that if I bring the same mentality every day and bring good energy and bring that hard working effort that I have instilled in myself, then everything else will fall where it should be. And just letting your journey take its ride. And so I guess that would be my advice. And it's tough. Every day is different. Some days, you feel like crap and you feel like shit, and it's not always going to be easy. But if you
Mm-hmm.
can just keep your goals in mind and know what you want to do, um, and strive for those goals every day. I think that's all you can do, and that's, like I said, control what you can control. So I think that
So
would be
yeah,
my best advice.
that is one of the big things that people struggle with, is trying to
Yeah,
is trying to make sure that everyone's happy, and you just gotta
exactly.
just worry about what you can do.
Yeah, and obviously, as humans, I mean, for me, even like I can say that, but I still struggle with it a lot of times too. You know what I mean?
Mm,
I have rough spots where I have to understand and go back to my roots and know what my goals are and know what my journey is, and if I can focus on that stuff and focus on the right things and not seeking the wrong things, I feel like that's when I'm at my best. And that's when, like, I can't be a Mike Trout because Mike Trout is Mike Trout, and
mm,
I'm Dalton Combs. So it's like if I'm trying to be someone else, then I'm not gonna ever get to my fullest potential. So, and it's not, like I said, it's not easy, but if we just worry about ourselves and just take it day by day and do what we need to do, I think that's the best we can do, and just go from there.
hell yeah. Well, Dalton, I appreciate it.
Appreciate you having me on,
It was
dog.
fun.
It's been a good one.
And I wish you the absolute best on your future.
I appreciate that, man. And we'll definitely stay in contact.
Oh
I'll
yeah,
have to
for
get you.
sure.
Hey, after this, let me get your number so I can actually.